Session Season 2, Episode 5. 5, right? 5, yeah, absolutely. You guys may have noticed that, anybody who's watching this now later on YouTube, that we have a guest. A surprise guest. Yeah. So,
it's a site visit from the execs.
Yes, absolutely. And everything we've done is terrible. We have to do it all again. Nah, just kidding. But if you wanted to talk a little bit about, at least real quick, some of the upcoming stuff for the
absolutely
webathon and whatnot.
Yeah. So we've got several things happening. So we're, by the way, all gathered in one room here, which is fairly unusual.
Unprecedented.
Yeah, because we are all at Midmoot, which just finished, the Mid-Atlantic Mythgard Speculative Fiction Symposium, which has just completed here, and we've just had an awesome weekend. So anyway, we do have several things that are, so I wanted to say hi. I get to visit. I don't get to stay, but I get to visit. They allow the exec to come on into the studio here, but I don't get to remain. And but there are two things that are going to be coming up soon in the next month. We are doing one special event, which I don't know if you guys even heard of the special event yet. We're going to do a discussion with Ted Naismith about SilmFilm stuff. So we're going to talk about SilmFilms. We're going to get, for those who don't know, Ted Naismith is the official illustrator of the Silmarillion, worked with Christopher Tolkien on the illustrated Silmarillion. So he's somebody who's thought a lot about visual representation of Silmarillion stuff. He was very interested to hear about the SilmFilm project, and so we're going to talk with him. I'm going to focus especially on kind of Season 3 people and places and landscapes.
So it's Bree's turn to be terrified now.
Exactly. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then at the end of October, we're going to do, we're doing, Signum University will do our traditional campaign ending webathon, and we're going to have everybody on. We're going to get together the SilmFilm hosts and the SilmFilm scripts team, and we're going to have one big session together.
Battle Royale.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of it as a constructive collaboration.
Of course, yes.
Harmony, not unity.
Yeah, exactly. But it'll all be good. So I was thinking, I don't know, we could either talk about a script, just like do whatever sort of script is up at that time to do,
Which
or
would
we
be
could do
8, I believe.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or we could do a special thing. I was kind of thinking, because we've still not gotten around to do it, is planning out the frame. So it might be really cool.
Some of us haven't done that yet.
Outside of the sequence of the episodes, to really kind of map out the entire thing. That might be a fruitful discussion.
That might be. That's a good idea.
Just a thought, but who knows what will end up.
That means that we don't have to do it this time.
Yeah. So nobody gets to say,
Yeah.
so what about the frame?
So how's Gilrine doing?
So you can kick the can a few weeks.
That sounds fantastic.
How delightful that is.
Yeah.
You don't have. It's. I'm telling you, there's a little more satisfying than procrastination. So, anyway. Right. Very good. So I will let you guys carry on.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for all the work that you guys have been doing. It has been so much fun to see this grow and develop, and to have the increasingly active collaboration as we've gotten through, from Season 1 into Season 2, and really look forward to seeing the work that you guys are going to continue to do.
All right. We're back. Live from the end of Midmoot. It's been awesome. We've got some new people. We have some old people. We have some not old people.
We have people
We have people.
alive.
Yes.
We have people.
In the same place, in the same room. So anybody who's been following this already knows Marie Prosser and Creed Alexander. I'm Nick Palazzo. If you found my channel, you probably know this. We also have Monica, Rachel, Lance, and Brandon here. We have two scribes here keeping us honest, which is awesome. So we've got a lot to do today. We've got we're not having LA emerge from Net Unlocked yet, correct?
Do you mean during this episode?
During this episode.
He's not going to meet anyone yet.
That's correct.
So
Okay. All right. However, we do have Olwe and Kierden on the shores, not Proto-Kierden, on the shores of the sea. deciding whether they're going to stay or go.
Should I stay or should
Exactly.
I go?
Yes.
The theme of the season.
With the theme of the season. With the missing Elway question, we've already established that Elway kind of doesn't really think Elway's coming back.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Thinks
much
he's
it for him.
Dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
We also have the arrival of. Oh, we didn't tell Professor Olsen about this. We also have the arrival of the Noldor in Valinor. Apparently, the Vanyar are already there, but we haven't mentioned that to anybody yet.
We'll
So-
show them the script outlines.
Yeah,
Surprise.
we'll see if anybody notices when that happens. So.
Sneak them in there early.
Awesome. Let's get going here. We also have Ant and Varno in the chat. I hope, maybe, possibly a little bit. So, the first thing we're going to see. Are we going to see the sea first?
Thematically, that's probably a good plan.
That's a gorgeous opening shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah,
Well,
on the
yeah.
beach, elves on the beach. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
The question is, are we seeing the sea on the Valinor side or on the Valerian side? Like, is this Círdan and
It's a good
Olwe,
question.
or
Yeah,
is this the Noldor coming into the bay?
Well, we're going to spend possibly the most time with Olwe and Círdan.
Yes.
So if we're going to bookend the episode,
Start with them.
we have to start with them, we have to end with them.
Yeah.
Okay? If we started in Valinor with the arrival of the Noldor, then we're gonna have to spend a lot more time with them, which we don't really have that much for them to do.
I have a question about like scene and lighting situation.
Okay.
What does that look like? I know that they're looking out at the sea, but like, what is the lighting situation if we were gonna ask one of our great artists to depict this?
What time of day?
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
essentially.
Starlight.
So starlight.
Well, that's true.
Twilight, yeah, and then
That'd be
this,
Twilight.
yeah.
There isn't anything
There's
else.
no-
The sun would be
there's
setting.
no twilight,
Yeah,
so,
west.
There's
yeah.
nothing else, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
there's
always
nothing.
Twilight.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no sun. yet,
Well, if
but-
anything, they may be able to see some light. I mean, how visible is the light from the trees? It's not even diffuse enough to
Yeah,
get there.
no.
Not from Valerian.
Not-
Okay.
See, the thing, creative liberties though, is just definitely one of those, you have to come up with what kind of twilight.
Yeah.
Is it overcast,
Yeah.
is it clear, that sort of thing.
It's
It
very,
does-
very bright starlight. It's
Right.
it's reflecting off the water, you know, giving a little underlight.
Not too
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
movie
I-
dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
movie,
Right.
yeah, movie dark.
Alright.
Well, it could be like, when you have like a brightly twilight, bright starry night, you see the two shadows, one
Yeah.
from the moon.
However, there are going to be some things that we need to some bookkeeping that we need to do here. All right, as Attenvarno is probably going to point out shortly, because he's here in the comments. So, for example, our protagonists. Who are they in this episode? Clearly, Olwe and Círdan.
Círdan, I think, if you only get one, like, primary protagonist,
Yeah.
I think that would be Círdan.
Right.
Olwe would be a secondary
Mhm.
supporting,
And then maybe like
something in Valinor.
anything in Valinor is probably like backdrop almost. Really, we're just kind of showing what's going on over
We
there.
have to build Tyrion,
That's true.
so
That's
there's
true.
things happening, but
Right.
as far as what their role is in the story, it's like the sea plot, yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
maybe
info dump.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, maybe we can have kind of Finway and Matan working that out. I suppose would work out. So, Adam Varner says we should always have scribes forever. Always, that should always happen. So that means that if these guys are in that case, we kind of have our A plot, which is Círdan, our B plot, which is Olwe, and then if anything that's going on in Valinor is kind of a C plot. Okay. It would be nice if we could figure out a way to tie it all together. Obviously, there's a obvious relationship between Círdan and Olwe's decision about what to do here. However, how do you think we can relate the Valinor plot line into that?
Almost in both places.
Yeah,
And-
there we go.
And he's driving the Olwe Círdan plot. So somehow involving Olmo is probably a good way to transition between them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has a big role in Valinor, but he could be bringing up his concerns with the other Valar at some point.
Okay.
Like, I see that you brought these elves here.
We should probably talk about that.
Yeah.
It's like, I
Yeah.
told you this was a bad idea, guys.
Yeah.
Are we going to see Olmo just gonna be aware and we'll see him seeing them from a distance?
Well, the impression that I kind of get is that, if anything, the direction that it's going for us is that Ulmo is kind of acting on Círdan and Olwe, yes, through dreams, but he kind of uses Ase as a bit of a surrogate,
Okay.
a little bit.
Everything
that
with
makes
the
sense.
island. is
Yeah,
through
because
us.
Ase's not intimidating at all.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Perfect diplomat.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Oma has better screen presence.
Yeah. Who else would we choose but the scruffy, homeless-looking sea guy?
Yes, absolutely.
This is a surfer dude.
Yes.
He's that guy who lives on the beach in
Well,
his
who
van.
was it? Who was it who came up with the idea of Ase teaching Círdan how to surf?
I don't
forget
know.
who that was,
That's
but
Trish, but that's amazing.
Yeah, that-
I
it
think
sounds
Trish
like
read it
Trish.
off.
Sounds like
But
Trish.
somebody else said it in the
I
chat.
see,
Yeah.
I see.
So okay.
Definitely do that.
So the bad things that are happening to our protagonists here are their choices. We've got a lot of angst going on here. Are we gonna have any action to kind of highlight
Nobody's gonna
this
die
angst?
in this episode.
Well, no,
Yeah.
there's no death. There's not really even any danger. Well, of course, we could bring in our bad guy, because we haven't we haven't introduced is Droglu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the time that we can do that. Is there a way that we can tie that into?
Well, it's interesting. You said we need some action. I mean, we have to consider these elves have never seen the sea before.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is their first reaction? And are some of them afraid of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
So what does the book say?
The book says, but when they beheld it, great fear came upon them, and many withdrew into the woods and the highlands of Valerian. Then Orome departed and returned to Valinor to seek the council of Manwë and left them.
See,
Yeah, no,
that's
it's like,
so
oh my
bad.
god, a big wet
That-
thing, run.
It's so bad that
Yeah.
they decided
Yeah.
to run in the Valar have to like go consult each other to be like, they don't want to come to
They
see
don't
guys.
like it.
So this is not gentle calming sea, I'm
We don't
assuming.
see, like,
This might be
over-
like huge breakers.
We don't see
Well, no,
over
yeah, but see it at night
shoulders.
is kind of terrifying.
We don't see like
Yeah.
happy elves frolicking.
I mean, that was
Well,
kind of my
away.
question when I
The
was talking
sea
about.
at night looks like a bottomless hole.
Yeah.
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 It's just,
It's-
yeah.
it
Like I
is.
was thinking, it's like that's
Kind
never
of
seen
vast
the
and
sea at
terrifying.
night and never during the day. Like my first question, where's the sea long even coming from? So I started looking in here. I'm like, holy crap, they just ran.
yeah.
You know what's really fun? A sea at night with a thunderstorm.
Oh
That
my
sounds terrifying.
God. Yeah.
Maybe there is a thunderstorm. We
Well,
should
no,
look
and
into
this is,
that.
it has that
Yeah.
thing where the lightning hits the waves and the waves light up.
Mhm.
That sounds so
Or
cool.
Yeah.
maybe
That would be-
Oh, do they arrive during a storm?
That could be turning.
That would be helpful.
really
Let's
effective.
make it
Because-
even scarier.
Yeah.
I like
we've,
it.
we've already had the Vanyar and the Noldor get to the sea, get on the ship, on the island.
No
and
problem.
leave. So, and we didn't have much drama with it because we didn't have much time for that.
Yeah.
So in this episode, if there's a storm when the Teleri get there and they have a very different reaction, it makes sense as to why
Yeah.
they're
Right.
having.
Well, and the funny,
And-
and the funny
and
thing
they're
is,
gonna-
or
right.
the interesting thing is, I mean, this was the Vanyar and the Noldor it's talking about here.
I know.
But it's, but we can
Principles the same.
move that to a different group.
Yeah, I think so.
Possibly even use it as a transition to go into Valinor and maybe the Noldor are sailing out of that same storm into a safe harbor.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good
That would
idea.
make their arrival that much more of a relief.
It might just be like,
Yeah.
this is a
Thank goodness
convenient
we're
way
here.
to
This is
connect these
awesome.
two scenes together.
Yeah.
Mhm. I like that.
And it wouldn't be a storm like, sent
Well-
to punish anyone. It's just one of those, oh no, it needs to rain right
It
now.
doesn't even have to be a bad storm, but if you've
Yeah,
never
think
seen a
about
storm
storm.
it's before, it's gonna be terrifying no matter what.
There's
Especially
a little
if
bit
you
of a
don't
problem
know
though.
what's
There's a little
that?
bit of a problem. If we're seeing a storm on the shores of Valerian, and the Noldor are sailing out of the same storm up to the shores, like that's an epic storm of
Yeah,
the
I know.
most
It's an
storm
epic
ever.
story.
That's
So,
true,
like, we
that's
could have
true.
a big storm.
But like this is
No,
like
no.
the last
England and the coast of
15
the US should not be
Right.
having the same storm at the same.
So
You're
maybe
talking
there's
about a
another
hurricane
one.
that would
Across the
end
ocean.
the all life on Earth, basically.
There can be like a storm series or a family of storms, a chain of storms. It doesn't have to be one colossal
I
one.
mean, is it
Right.
actually measured in pure distance or is it like metaphorical distance?
Right.
It's a
yeah.
metaphorical storm,
Well,
They
metaphorical
could even,
distance.
just be looking back at it and going, wow.
Wibbly
wow,
wobbly
glad we
fancy
didn't have to sail
wancy.
before.
Yeah. Don't ask these things.
Well, it's interesting because if you think about it, Ase is hanging out on the coast of Middle Earth,
Yeah.
specifically because because of almost instruction stamp, which we actually want to tie into. I want to tie into the episode 10 of season 1. You know, this idea that as punishment for his rebellion, he can't hang out in Amon. Asa can't hang out
on the
in
shores of
Amon.
Valinor.
Yeah.
Right, which is why
More of a consequence than a punishment.
Well, yes, I agree.
But
I
it's
agree,
a-
but it's a result.
It is a
Yeah,
result.
it is
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. And it gives Asa a motivation to not want the elves to reach Valinor.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I can see
Okay.
that. And I have I'm wondering what, if there is a storm and the first time the Teleri see the ocean, it's terrifying to them, they run away, that's fine. Except the Teleri are the ones who they just love the
Yeah,
sea,
actually,
they
I
want,
was-
they
Well,
want to be near it,
It
they're the
just says
sea
that
elves.
thus it came to be that the Teleri, who were from the beginning lovers of water.
They do love the water. They
Yeah.
do love the
We're
water,
after
but the
enamored of
ocean
seas.
isn't just water, though.
That's
Yeah.
true. Are we counting the
What's
ones that
Asa
ran away to the
and
hills and the
Lena do?
mountains?
That-
Or
that
do they
got
still
them to love
count?
the ocean.
Or are they still the
Yeah.
lost wandering
Yeah,
ones?
that's-
Are the
Yeah.
ones that ran in the mountains considered the ones who abandoned them?
yeah.
Right. Well, seriously, protagonists. Otherwise, who cares about the storm? Well, like I was saying before, you may have missed this. Atten Varna just rejoined us. He had to reboot his computer. Our protagonist is primarily Círdan. We also have a B plot with following Olwe, and a C plot following the elves that are in Valinor. The C plot's just kind of updating us, really. Ultimately, there's not a whole lot going on there.
Yeah, the storm will tie in to like the Círdan,
Right,
or
as the shipwright.
Yeah. Well, he could be the one trying to stop he could be one of the ones trying to stop everybody from running the
Don't
crap
run
away.
I'm
Yeah.
sure this is normal.
Yeah, well, that's also where we get fun things like trampling.
or you know,
You know?
well, this is something that this has happened before. Like reassuring everybody, we've seen this happen before. That could be a, tying into the whole thing where this is the text is technically referring to people who arrived before. He could be saying, yeah, you're not the first. Don't worry about it. You'll get used to it.
I think that if we want the Teleri to eventually be lovers of the sea, which is
Okay.
Okay, we're having a bunch of technical difficulties. We're going to overcome them. It's been a fun evening. We have a lot of stuff going on. But basically, what we're trying to figure out now is how Olwe and Círdan's story differ, so that as to why Olwe is a protagonist character in his own life, because Olwe doesn't really he's still coming into his own as the leader of his people now with his missing brother. He wants to fulfill his brother's dying wish, to get the elves to Valinor. But his confidence as a leader still isn't quite there yet. Okay? But Olmo's going to give him a job to do as well. And it's going to be the converse of Círdan's job. Nothing bad is happening to Olwe, really, whereas interesting drama happens to Círdan. Plus, we did him last episode. That's true. We did do him last episode, which is why I consider him a secondary protagonist in this episode.
Yeah, and this episode is more challenging in that we don't have a lot of high drama. Nobody is dying or disappearing or falling in love.
Right.
So
Any drama that takes place is really going to be kind of manufactured in a
well,
way.
we do have groups of people separating from each other, so
Yes.
I know the host requested that there be family split up when
Right.
Olwe leaves and Círdan stays.
Yes.
So we will have drama. There'll be unnamed people that we didn't know about before this happens, but we can
Yes.
introduce them in a way that matters.
Right.
Well, I mean, one of the interesting things is that one of the reasons that Olmo is sent to Middle Earth is basically because Finwë begs Olmo to go, because he's basically in one of the great ironies that I just
He misses
remember.
Olwe and he wants Olwe to come.
He
So-
misses, it grieves him the Teleri, and his people should be sundered.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, which we're going to see Finway, looking off to the sea, waiting
Yeah.
for, wondering what's going on with them back in Middle Earth. So he's going to go to Ulmo specifically, I guess in this episode, to convince them to go back to take the boat island back to, back to Middle Earth. So there has to be a moment there as well.
Yes.
But I don't want to lose sight of Always' choice. I don't want to, yes, I feel like Kierden's choice is a lot more heart-wrenching, given that because of his position as the connector to Valinor, he clearly wants to go. Like, that to me seems
Yeah.
fairly evident.
Yeah.
But he's not going to wind up going,
For a long time.
for quite a long time.
A really long
The
time.
definition of a long time.
Just,
For
just wait
ages and ages.
6,000 years, everything will be
6,000
fine.
years, we complain about an hour's commute.
Mm.
What's an hour?
Yeah. So Alex asks, of course, we're kind of begging the question there, why are we bothering to show all this? Why don't we just tell people it happened
Okay.
and kind of skip it?
Well, would we skip 2, if we did that, hypothetically speaking?
Well, we would be skipping to,
Yeah,
we would be going right into the Noldor and the emergence of Elwë from as the king of the Sindar.
The content of the next episode,
Right,
essentially,
yes.
just bump it
But,
up.
So-
but in skipping it, we'd be missing out on one of the more cryptic characters. I think it would be fun to flesh out Kierden.
Right.
honestly.
Right.
We know
Yeah.
so little about this, he's this, creative guy who makes ships and has yet never gone on one to know.
Yeah, okay,
Right,
so
yeah.
I don't know, it'd be interesting to get inside that.
if we did skip this, we would be missing out a chance to get to know Kierden better, which would be very sad since he is one of my favorite minor
Yeah.
characters. We would be missing out on a chance to sort of develop the relationship between the Teleri and the sea.
Mhm.
The idea that initially they're very intimidated by it, but that they grow to love and appreciate and respect it in all of its sort of moods.
Mhm.
So if we have a storm, we can do that. If we would gain skipping stuff that isn't high drama, we would be able to get closer to a place where someone's going to die, or go
And we
missing,
can't.
or fall in love.
Yeah.
So we just have to decide, do we love that stuff enough to kind of have this episode where there isn't a lot of high drama? Does it always have to be high drama?
There's minor drama, so I think we can work with it.
Okay.
The Vanyar and the Noldor are living in the same city in Valinor, and they build Tyrion for both of them.
Right.
By the end of the episode, the Vanyar are gonna move out and go hang out with the Valar, mostly because the Vanyar and the Noldor don't actually fit in the same city together.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
their attitudes are very different, and that peaceful separation is thematically important.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And perhaps we can start to see the Noldor. Maybe not. Maybe the Vanyar don't leave Tyrion in this episode, though, because
They almost have to, because they have to be gone before the Teleri get there, and that happens in the next episode.
You could almost make a parallel of having the Vanyar leave, and that was happening in Valinor, but then over in Middle Earth, what's happening is part of Always people are gonna go over to Valinor, and part of them are gonna go stay in the forest because they're still loyal to Elwë, and they're still hoping to find him, but always to, he doesn't want to stay any longer. So there's gonna be a split there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's two
that's-
peaceful separations of
true.
people.
that's a very good point. And Alex is also saying, why not? Leaving sounds like a dramatic thing, which is true.
Yeah.
So now we have the leaving of the Vanyar of Tyrion as it's being built,
Yeah.
as well as the leaving of the Teleri, who will become the Calquendi version,
Mhm.
counterparts of the Teleri,
Yeah,
leaving,
Calamari
being
versus
sundered
Calamari.
from the others. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. Nobody's watching this live, so if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to like and share the videos. It really does help us out. If you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe. We'll be back in a moment.